channel membership. Zeb and I worked out for the first time in a new gym together, and my arms are a little shaky and I need to eat, so.
She's like, I didn't burn enough calories. I'm like, but you'll be real sore tomorrow. Because I do weightlifting, and she's like, used to like CrossFit.
I lifted weights. I told you that when I worked out at Orange Theory.
Yeah, I don't think you lifted them like I'm about to make you lift weights.
Whatever. I mean, you don't get guns like this just from not working out, right?
Okay, so we've got printables today. I think we showed them last time, but if you missed out, the printables are up. There's a link a couple posts back in community for these. This actually has a cream color to it, but we print them out in black and white on our printer because we're cheap and we don't have color printers. And then I think this
have a black and white laser.
I believe this one might have been the time before, or this one.
Huh.
I can't remember which one was the time before, but
They're
we've
all
got
still up.
these are all still up. You can still print these out. So we're going to be using them on a fun window. Jamie's going to do some Mother's Day art.
No, my arms are jello. I'm going to
here.
respond to comments.
Your
I came
arms?
up with the idea. You got to do the art.
Okay, all right, I can do it.
So this window we had, I don't know if you guys remember, we did our laundry room in the house that we lived in before this. And this had like laundry today or naked tomorrow, but I used DIY paint and I never bothered to seal it. So legit, 2 years later, totally washed off, no issue.
Came right on
So
off.
I love to use DIY paint on windows for that exact thing. And I'm actually going to put the camera down low so you guys can see it. But
Yeah, we'll move the camera.
I got this idea because we did that dresser with the peony stamp and we used it kind of like a template. And I thought, what if we used our printables and put them behind the window and used it kind of like a template. And the reason why I like that is because you can still make it your own, but you can lay it out, do what you want. And so the plan is that we're gonna do the flowers on the front. Once we get them the way that we want them, we're actually gonna paint the back of the window to make it look like a full scene. So we'll see. And
We'll see how good my art skills are, shaky and all. I have not, I mean, we did a lot of housework, right? But it's not like straight lifting weights.
It is when you're installing 2,600 square feet of flooring. Just throwing it out there. My guns never looked better. I just don't have any more flooring to install, at least not yet.
We might have that coming up
All
soon.
right, so I don't want to just straight do that.
I was gonna do a little scene.
That's the biggest one.
Okay.
So shouldn't that go in the middle?
I was gonna do like over to the side. Tell me how you want it.
I will tell you. Well, it was my idea. I want that in the middle, and then you can put the other ones anywhere you want. How about that?
Okay.
I just figured this would be good for Mother's Day.
All right.
And if it works out, it'll be coming to an edited YouTube video near you.
Yeah, we might actually. You guys are the guinea pigs, right? So that's always the case. We're like, let's try this out on channel members.
So the paper is not staying there. We're just using it as a template.
We should show them the fun new IOD we just got too, just because they're special. They're VIPs.
They're VIPs. All right. Well, I mean, it's not like for sale yet. We're only taking pre-orders.
Yeah, we're still doing pre-orders. We'll try to adjust this and not be too crazy.
This is going to be the video for Friday. I just got this in the mail from Aaron at IOD. We're going to start filming this video today. I actually haven't decided what I'm going to put it on, but here's one of the new IOD transfers. Ironically, there's a few new transfers, and one of them has naked cherubs on it. And so stay tuned for Debbie's next video, because she didn't realize the cherubs were anatomically correct. I was like, I won't say the word because I don't want to get
Well, they are pretty
But
small.
I was like,
on
are
the
there
print,
male
so it's hard to-
anatomies on that transfer? And Debbie's like, where? So then I circle them. And I send the picture back to her. And I don't know if you guys follow Lynn from Ellen J Goods. We have a thread going between the three of us. And she's like, oh my gosh, there they are. I was like, yep, so Debbie's going to cover them up with flowers.
Okay, so
Anyways.
front of the window, right? My thing's back there. I'm gonna paint on top and see how good I can paint.
Leslie, they have shown that transfer. They've shown all of them. So I'm not
Yeah.
doing anything illegal. Just nobody has them actually in their hands. We just have all the stamps and then this transfer because they gave it to us. Because what they do, and it's smart, is they give it to the people that have the most like following to get it out there. And all of the
Yeah,
retailers.
we only got this one sample.
Yeah, all of the retailers benefit from
hi.
it.
All right.
And we're not going to use all of it. We actually have another video coming. It's going to be the traveling transfer. And we're each, me, Debbie, and Lynn are each gonna send each other a piece, leftover piece of our transfer that we got to work with. And then we're gonna create some stuff together. So we're excited about that. All right, show them what you're doing.
Okay, so it's basically just my template, right? It's almost like if you were to project with an old projector, but it's on the back here. So I'm just gonna put some base color down. I'll probably have to go do 2 coats. And I'll show you up close here in a sec like I like to do. I might need a smaller brush. That's a lot of brush.
We should have practiced with our mics. Guys, we bought like this fancy new camera and microphones, and we're trying to up our game because we want to get to 1 million subscribers. And technology is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Man, my arms are shaking. I'm glad you're doing that. Good job.
Well, you told me like I didn't work out very hard. I'm like, oh, we'll up your weights on.
I just didn't sweat.
We'll up your weights on Wednesday. You needed to run harder on the treadmill for the warm up.
Yeah, we had cool weather yesterday. It was overcast all day. And then today, the weather's like still cool, but warmer, and the sun's coming out. So Grandma says we sound great. We're actually just on our phones right now. It's our old standby. They're easy, but we're trying to get it even better for higher production quality. We're also working on doing some short videos for A&E. I guess I can say it. We don't have a contract or anything, but whatever, I don't care. Just 1-minute tips but we're not officially under contract yet. And so we wanted to create some better, higher quality content so that way we could reuse that and edit it and do these tip videos that they were wanting. Anyways, that's part of it too. We're gonna, today, to give you guys an update, we're gonna go to the city and work on getting our zoning changed on the church. It's only partially zoned commercial, so we've gotta get that updated. And then towards the end of the week, I'm gonna get started on our SBA stuff. I used to be a mortgage loan officer, so I kind of speak mortgage. I just don't know commercial that well.
Okay, so the stems, I want them to kind of be in my background. When you're painting, background first and then work forward for the stuff you want to pop. I don't know, can you see the green there where I've added it?
I think they can. Let's see.
I'm using Aviary DIY.
Katie wants to know what camera we got.
So we got...
It was like $4,000.
Oh, the Mark, or the EOS Mark 6. I can't remember. It's upstairs. I can go grab it in a sec and show it to you.
Jen Dune. Is it Dune or Dunn? I think it's Dune.
I was calling her Dune.
I always call her Jen Dunn. It is the
done.
printable. It is, I don't know when. Is it from this month? This one is, yeah.
See, I messed you up because I was calling her the wrong name and now we can't remember how
It's
to say
Jen Dunn.
her name right on
It's
the
not
last
Dune.
end.
It's Dunn.
I know.
I'm done with her. Just kidding.
Okay, so this is
She missed
Farm Fresh.
She missed the chat about the IOD transfers. Jen could have made it interesting. You'll have to watch the replay.
And now I'm just mixing in a little bit of aviary. I'm gonna do these leaves a little bit brighter and then I'm gonna come through and do the flowers last. And they're not gonna have all the detail that these other leaves have. I'm not going that crazy.
I want to do like more canvas type art, and so I'm thinking if I start like this, it's like training wheels, and then eventually you take the training wheels off, right? Like Rome wasn't built in a day. And maybe I never take the training wheels on. Maybe I just always design it on the computer and then use it as a template. Zeb actually took art classes in high school. I actually took
And a lot of them in college.
not art classes. I took computer classes.
So I went for graphic design, but to get to the graphic design part, if you're doing, because I was going for like an associate's at a community college, and so you had to take a lot of other art classes as well. So I've done a lot of different media, and brushes are not actually my strong suit. I like colored pencil and markers.
Chris says, how much bigger is our new space than our old space? So,
Oh, we could talk all kinds of details about the new
so
space.
the church is about 5,000 square feet just by itself, and then there's a 4-car garage. And I use the term garage loosely. It's more like a 4-car shed, but it's tall enough that it's like 2-story. So we'll probably wind up putting a loft space in there.
We got to dress up the outside because right now we didn't show it in our little teaser, but it's like a it's like a tin building
Yeah.
right up next to it. Like there's hardly any walk space. between?
It's on the property line, so we won't be removing it because it's grandfathered in. But that will be Zeb's workspace in there. So we're gonna move all of his tool situation over there and out of my garage. So I can actually park in my garage. And a part of the barn will probably be reserved for project pieces and stuff. So I'm super excited about that. And then there's also the old Bishop's storehouse where they would put, so back in the day when they paid tithing, many times they didn't pay tithes with money, they paid it with products, you know, that they had, like grain, whatever. And so they would put it all in the Bishop's storehouse. And then when people needed stuff, then they distributed it out of the Bishop's storehouse. Kind of like the original food bank, you know? So there's a Bishop's storehouse in the back that's probably what, like 1,000 square feet?
Yeah, about that. Maybe like 750 to 1,000.
And then there's a basement that's not included in the 5,000 square feet. That is probably like 500 square feet. So I would say quite possibly if you include all the space, like all the footprint of it, it's probably triple.
Yeah.
Maybe quadruple.
And
where
it's
we're at
on
now.
it's on a half acre, and there's a lot of room where we could put like a parking lot and things. That's currently grass right now, but
Yeah, and we can do out when the weather's nice. We thought about. We don't have a lot of like local high-end nurseries with topiaries and greenery type stuff. So we thought about throwing a greenhouse up and offering that too, because that's something that we're interested in. So it's a lot of different space, and there's also potential for purchasing more land kind of next to it, and we're hoping to maybe buy stuff across from it, you know, expand over time. But for right now, it's going to be probably 4 times the space. Will we be doing these kind of videos at the store eventually? Probably. So here's the thing. I said it's 5,000 square feet, but some of it is like the original like chapel, right? And then there's the addition that was built in 1917, and there's a second and third floor, which is not going to be retail space. So that will be office space. So I would assume we'll probably wind up putting a studio. I think actually the third floor would be the best space for a studio.
I might have to figure out, so you can get elevators and freight elevators fairly inexpensive. I just have to engineer it and install it.
Yeah. So
We might do that in the back of the building so that we can have access to the upper floors with heavy equipment without having to get like moving company over there, wait until Harrington can come help me move stuff.
Donna says, I was just gonna suggest an elevator.
But we'll see how, because we've only walked through it once.
Yeah, we've got to get back over there. I'm actually going to go over there today, so I'll talk to him a little bit more. We already knew that, so Zeb and I are kind of like, when we feel inspired to do something and then we do it, we don't like investigate every portion of it, because that's just not in our jam. Like when we bought this house, we walked through it one time and then we made an offer, and
We
then
bought it, so we have the video with the inspection. We were already under contract and well underway getting the loan before the inspection came. I'm gonna move that up a little.
Yeah, the inspection was not for
the inspection was for video purposes only.
yeah, you can leave this part. So I'll tell you when you're good. You only need to show this part. There you go, stop. The inspection on this house was really more to just so that way we knew what we needed to fix, not because we weren't going to buy it. So same thing with this church. We know that there's going to be issues. There's the things that we're going to have to fix. Really what we have to do is pull out everything that they've added and put back what would have originally been there. We've been told that the stage is still there, and that because it's the same family that's lived there since it converted from a church to a home, and they just framed out the stage and then they built in that. So I'm thinking if we take out what's been added, then we'll be good. We will have a structural engineer come, not because we're doing any structural changes, but just to make sure that we don't have to do any structural upgrades, which I can guarantee from 1894 there's structural upgrades, because the way it's built, there's no buttresses. It's like a really interesting architecture. It's Gothic style, but there's no buttresses. So I would assume we might need some earthquake and hurricane ties, things like that. But Zeb is like a pro at upgrades.
I've got that now.
Will we be getting offerings from there on the SNL? Oh, I'm sure that we'll rotate through. We like to do stuff at home right now because we've seriously outgrown our space at the shop. Right now we do a lot here because our back room that was a studio has now been taken over by inventory. Currently, JRB Beauty is residing on our work table. In fact, Odelia is doing craft boxes tomorrow because she doesn't work Wednesday. And I was like, we're just gonna film at home. Like
She
we'll do
doesn't
our
have
live.
school Wednesday.
What did I say?
Work.
Oh yeah, she doesn't have school, which is her work. She doesn't have school on Wednesday, so we'll bring all the craft box stuff here and film. In fact, all the clocks are here anyways. Luckily, like our life is very triangular, like the shop, the house, the new property, our kids' schools are very close, so it's not like we have to drive very far to get anywhere. I think what will happen is when we initially take possession for it, we'll move over the website stuff first and get that up and rolling, because those areas will be easiest to get set up. And we'll leave the shop at the old location while we do the demo for the retail space, and then we'll move the retail space in.
Gonna go in with some French millinery.
And Katie, if you do come to the US, definitely come see us. Somebody asked if we were gonna do an Airbnb on the property, and I'm like that's a lot of stress. We might do an Airbnb in Lehi, but it'll be like at a separate location. We actually almost bought one the other day, but
We were like, what can we flip quick while we wait for the church property to sell? Because we don't have enough on our plates right now.
Katie says she's coming for us. That's awesome. Well, it's going to bring a lot of people, because Katie's either at or has 100,000 subscribers, and by then she's going to have like 1 million. So
Yeah.
we'll be like, it's going to be great. People will come to see her when she comes to see us. Katie
Okay.
says she'll sleep on the couch. Have you seen my couch? It's pretty great.
Eliza slept
your
on the couch
husband,
the other
and
day.
both your boys. You have 2 boys, I think, right? You can all fit on my couch. It's 15 feet by 10 feet by 10 feet. Oh, Katie hit 100K yesterday. That's awesome. You're going so fast. I'm like, I watch our numbers. I'm like, come on. But we're putting more gas. We actually just got Daryl Eves' book
Yep.
about growing your YouTube channel. So we know that we've slacked a little bit. Building the house really set us back. The church is not going to be as extensive of a renovation as what we did to this house. Like, we're not building an addition. We're not tearing everything. Well, we might tear everything down to the studs, but it's already got a new roof. It's already got HVAC. It's already had the electrical upgraded.
And the plumbing.
So those types of things are done. In this home, the electrical and plumbing really have not been upgraded. I'm not living in that house, so I was much more particular about the things done here than I am going to be at the shop.
Although there is a kitchen at the shop, we'll probably leave that intact.
Yeah, there's actually 2 kitchens, but one's got to go.
One is like a built-in kind of like mother-in-law kitchen situation.
Donna says those are all the expensive things. And that's the other thing is, right now, construction materials are super, super expensive. So I don't plan on, mostly it's just going to be cleaning and painting and removing, as opposed to adding things in, at least to get started, because the building is rather expensive. It's kind of a huge undertaking on our part.
It's the most expensive thing we've ever bought.
Yeah. So I don't want to get in over my head.
Like it adds up to being more expensive than all 3 homes we've purchased previous.
True. But we are, like, our rent is like 1/4 of what our new mortgage will be. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But our rent right now is way less than it should be based off of our annual sales and revenue. So it's not like our business can't afford it. We're not like buying it based off of future revenue. We're buying it because, quite technically, we should be in such a larger space than we are. We're just making do with what we've got.
Well, so. and we're hoping, because it's on a busier street, it's in more centrally located to the downtown area, where we're on the end of Main Street right now, where people just kind of drive by to get to stuff. It will hopefully be somewhere that people can stop by real quick, easy, and make it a place.
It's still a destination, but it is closer to the freeway by like a few miles. So I feel like that's good. And you can see it from State Street. So I think that helps too. But I think it's going to be cool enough and big enough that it'll be more worth people's while to come. Like right now, we're just so far off the beaten path, and it's such a small, we only use like 1/3 of our overall space for retail space. It's such a small offering that I feel like people have to really want to come there. So I'm hoping that this is just going to be enough that it'll be a destination and some place where people can spend some time and enjoy, like, outdoors, take some pictures, really dig through stuff. And we've got so much space that we can have a lot of salvage you know, like doors and windows and things like that.
Well, and on the back, in the back area right now, there's kind of like this little garden place sectioned out between the bishop's storehouse and the church. And I think we will be able to have, we might even do like a fun little greenhouse situation back there and have live plants for sale and all kinds of stuff.
Do you want to
like
show them
that.
what you're doing so far?
Yeah, I've been holding it up.
We're using the same colors actually that we used on the, now one of the things to keep in mind is that the black is not going to stay there, so we're going to have less detail.
I might come in with some darker purple and shade it, because that's actually in the picture. I mean, and you guys, so we're using this on just printer paper. You can blow this up and make this huge. If you have like a big window and you want to just put this on the window, you could make it any size. Just take it down to a copier center and they'll make stuff big for you.
Grandpa says the Magnolia of the Northwest. Yeah, we're not quite Chip and Joe, but
and props to them. They've done a really
awesome.
good job building up their business, and like I see how busy we are and then like what they got going on. I'm like,
but
oh
they
my
got
goodness.
people. Like that's what happens. We're at that really uncomfortable stage where we're like growing faster than we can actually handle the situation. But you know what? That's just business. You're either growing or you're not, right?
Yeah, you deal with the punches as they come, and you worry about the outcome later.
Yeah, no risk, no reward. The other thing that we're going to be doing with this too is like if you were creating this, you could also put like hooks on the bottom of it. You could create it just as an art piece. I like single pane windows like this for this particular purpose. I know the multi-pane windows are more popular for other things because they're more interesting, but the single pane windows are really good for things like this, transfers, whatnot, and they're usually less expensive, so it's always something to keep in mind.
So I'm just kind of pushing my brush to simulate, I don't know, what kind of flower is this?
That's a chrysanthemum.
The chrysanthemum, to kind of simulate all the little individual petals. I'm not painting them individually, I'm just pushing at it with the brush to kind of make it look like that.
Yeah, for us it's also a delicate balance, Leslie, between, like there's a lot of things we could do and then the things that we want to do, and also making sure we have time for our family and enjoying them and our church and so many other facets, because I feel like you can get burnt out fast.
Every Tuesday, I do stuff with the youth, the 16 to 18-year-old young men at the church, and on Sundays too. So we've got to make time for that. And Jami does primary with the kids from age 2. Is it age 2?
18 months to 11 years.
Yeah.
The year they turn 12, they move into the youth program, which is what Zeb works at. I used to work on the youth program, but on a larger level. So I was more like management, I guess you could say, over 8 congregations of the girls' youth program. And then I recently got asked to do primary on a ward level, which is just like a single congregation. And I'm technically the secretary, but they don't make me do anything secretarial, which is good because I'm not good at that. And it's all volunteer at our church. We don't get paid, which I like because it's less pressure. It's more fun that way.
Yeah.
And
this afternoon, we're going to go play horseshoes and roast some brats. Should be a good time.
yeah. We have our first activity with, well, not activity, well, yeah, we do. We have our activity coming up for Mother's Day. We're going to be doing these cute Mother's Day cards, and that's going to be at the park. So we like to invite like the whole neighborhood for that. So that's going to be fun. But then on Sunday, we have our first meeting that isn't virtual. We're going to meet in the chapel so we have more room so we can like social distance and stuff. But we're having the kids in person, so I'm excited to see all their smiling faces and get to hear them sing. I'm excited about that. But we're like so we are organized by what's called a stake. So it's like multiple congregations in an area. And because we live with a high population of people that go to our church here, the area is not very big. It's all people in our town. In fact, there's probably, I don't know, 10 stakes, 12 stakes, not more than that.
Oh, more than
in
that.
our town. And our stake has 8 congregations. Anyways, we're the first ward, which is a congregation, to meet in person with our kids. So we're the guinea pigs. Oh, that's so cool. See how pretty that is? You guys.
Okay, we need to get that dry though so that I can do...
Well, let's do the other, oh, so you want me to heat gun that?
Let me go
Robin,
grab it
you
real quick.
can seal it. You just come over it with some sealer and an artist brush and try to stay off the glass so
I
it
would
doesn't.
recommend, if you're gonna seal the glass, I would recommend like maybe spraying it even.
No, because you don't want to spray. You don't want to get the spray all over the glass
It's
because you
just
want it
super-
to still look like glass. So legit, you just come in and just kind of brush it on just where you've painted, and you'll get some of it on the glass, but it won't be too bad. But I painted this with paint in my laundry room whenever we did our makeover a few years ago. And now, granted, I'm not a scrubber, but it still looked fine 2 years later. It's not going to come off unless you get it wet and rub it off.
Yeah.
So you can dry dust, spot clean, all of those things, and you don't have to worry about sealing it.
It just needs a quick hit. Don't heat the glass up too much. And break it like I did the other night on that clock.
Yeah, be careful. Well, remember when Harrington had that cat thing?
Oh yeah. He put the heater in his window well and left his cat outside in the window well because his sister's allergic and he wasn't supposed to have it in the house. And the heater was blowing on the glass like all night and it cracked it super bad.
So we are going to paint behind this on the opposite side when we're done, and that will actually make it look a lot more. You could leave it like this for a see-through look, but if you want to make the colors pop, you just paint the background, which we're going to do when we're all done. You can't do that till you're done painting. So.
Okay. So
Kate says I want a Zeb of my own. I can tell you right now, like he just did, I have like this much artist skills as far as like freehand goes. I could have done.
Oh yeah, she could. This is, guys, this is
really
super,
cute.
super
like
simple.
Coloring book.
I just kind of blended the pink and the purple together and the two greens together and just kind of traced them and did the leaves and stuff. And you know, it's like art at the museum. It doesn't actually have to look good. You got 6 feet away, right?
So Donna says, but if you're painting the back anyway, can you seal the whole thing? Yes, but I still want it to be shiny, like the window on the front, so I'm not gonna seal the front. However, on the back, I'm gonna brush it one color and I will seal over that entire thing just so the back doesn't, so it lasts longer. But on the front, for me, I like the shiny window aspect of it, so I'm not gonna seal the front. And I'm serious when I say unless you're scrubbing it with window cleaner, you don't need to seal the paint.
It was in our laundry room, you know, pretty humid room.
Yeah.
And dusty too from the dryer, and no issues.
So, how do you decide? I would just cut those elements
I'm
individually.
just gonna go right here.
Okay. So this is just another.
But I need to clean my
Caitlin's
brush.
texting me.
Your mom's on the phone too. I hear her walking this way. She's
Oh,
coming.
I'll tell her.
She's coming.
Mom.
But yeah, this is one of my favorite ways. Comment if you've ever used a projector. I know Kieran has. He has a video recently doing that. If you don't know who Kieran is, I just blanked his YouTube channel. Anyway, he's in the UK and he does some really fun stuff. He's a channel member and does business coaching with us. But he used a projector to make like a really huge sign, and it was awesome. Okay, got more green mixed up. What is Kieran's channel name? I am spacing it.
81 vintage.
81 vintage, and it's
81.
80.
It's spelled out.
1 is spelled out. But anyway, if you want to look him up, he's got a good video on using a projector to do large art. Okay, this is the meticulous part where I'm like thinking about my colors and I don't talk much, so.
Sorry, I'm responding back to our landlord.
Okay, here, I'm gonna try to bring the camera straight down so you guys can watch this part here.
Oh, Zeb, did you get that one paper edited for primary for me?
No, I couldn't find it. I tried.
okay, I'll send it to you
It was
again.
not in my email.
This is, you guys want to see what kind of crafts I do for primary? This is what we're making at the park. I just got that from one of the other gals that I work with. We're gonna put them all in manila envelopes so that way if they don't have time to stay, they can take their kit to go.
Let's see.
We initially planned it at the park because we weren't sure if we were gonna be meeting in person, and I didn't want any mothers to not get a card for Mother's Day.
So one thing I am doing is on these larger leaves, I'm brushing out from the center so it looks like it has a middle vein there, like leaves have. And then these ones here are so small, I'm just mushing them on.
And you don't have to use DIY paints. You could use acrylic paint. You could really use any paint. I like to use DIY because it's such a great, like, nice thick paint.
It comes off easy too if you want to change it up.
Yeah, if I mess up, it's not a problem. And if I decide to do something else with the window and it's not sealed, I can easily put spray cleaner on it and clean it off.
Yeah, if you seal it, it no longer comes off easy and you'll be fighting it forever. But if you leave it unsealed, you can usually get it off okay. Can you guys, okay, you can see, okay. It's quiet time right now.
Sorry, I'm responding to Caitlin.
Stop it.
Sorry.
Go back to comments.
I am going back to comments. This is important.
Is she putting stuff up?
It's 81 vintage. Thanks, Donna.
All right, so I think I'm gonna go more pink. Just gonna clean my brush off a little
channeling
bit.
his inner Bob Ross. Like, he's legit. He's the better crafter. I'm actually pretty good at coming up with like ideas of what to do with junk.
So this, I'm just gonna dab it and see how it goes. It might not have much detail.
We need to add some different colors. Let me see what I can find.
So I'm just going straight pink on this one, but I could add some yellow. Do we have any red? Do we have any red over there that I can mix in with some white or something?
We need to move all of our paint supplies because we don't paint much at the shop anymore. It's just sitting in the
Yeah, we do need to get all our paint supplies back over. Oh, I missed a leaf there.
And the gals at the shop would like love to have more space. Here's kissing booth, so you can add some. I'm sad that we don't have any more yellow though. We can come back and add yellow later.
But are we going to?
Probably not. Oh, another thing you could spray on the back that would be really cool, you guys. If you wanted it to still be translucent, you could spray some of this on the back and just frost behind it. And the reason why I like to put something behind the windows is sometimes the wall behind where it's hung isn't pretty.
Oh man, this stuff is,
So.
This kissing booth might be the original kissing booth you ever got. It's thick.
Aw, thanks, Shelly. Jen says Zeb's the into your gang. We're actually kind of obnoxious, I think, to some people. Because it's not a put on. Like, if you see us argue on camera, that's about as much as it really ever gets. I feel like sometimes the biggest thing is to remember that A, you're not always right, which is hard for me.
And we both struggle with that.
Yeah. And B, that it really doesn't matter what the other person does. The way that you serve them and the way you love them should be a reflection on your opinion of them and not a reflection of what they do for you. That helps. So we're gonna take that off. Oh, that looks so good then.
Okay, I need to fill over these edges. I think I'm gonna do
A taller one.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this tall one right over here.
That's the nice thing about working with a window. You can flip it back and forth without ruining your image. Lisa says we're not obnoxious. It is kind of funny when we go to restaurants and then we don't even realize it and we order the same thing. Sometimes I order something different and then I'm always sad.
She's always looking at my burger. I typically, when I go out to eat, I get something like burger, steak.
Sometimes, oh, but you tried that ravioli in California and you were sad.
I did branch out. I'm like, ooh, sweet potato ravioli. Let's try that out. It was.
You're making me hungry. Where can we eat for lunch?
I don't know, but
we have to go to the city.
I need something that's high in protein today.
Yeah, I need lots of meat. Let's go have some steak.
But so that's usually what I eat, and then she's over there eating something like some garden salad, and she's super sad.
I never have a garden salad. I'm not that girl. Jen, I don't think you're obnoxious. I think you're funny. Christina says every time I branch out, I hate it. You know, I like to branch out, but I always make sure we only ever have one of us branch out at a time.
Oops.
So that way, if our meal sucks, we can like take it from the other person and share. and have something we like. But I did find that I like shrimp and grits because I branched out, and I would have never known that.
I'll eat anything. Like, it doesn't matter. If it can be put on a plate, I'll probably eat it.
Relationships are the hardest thing you will do in your life, but very rewarding. It's true. I also feel like, obviously not every relationship is controllable, but a lot of it comes down to what you put into it. So,
You know what? I think I'm going to add some white to this.
and that doesn't work just with friendships and with marriages. It also works for friendships. I have a group of girlfriends. We have been girlfriends for the better part of, gosh,
13 years?
13 years.
14 years.
Some people come and go, but like there's a lot of us that have been best friends for 13 years. Do we always like each other? No. Have we had spats? Heck yes. But one of the things we tell each other all the time is if you're only friends with somebody when they're their best self, then what kind of friend are you? So you have to be friends. You have to be willing to be friends even when people suck, because you suck sometimes too.
Even
When they suck.
So this isn't white.
Well,
I
you
thought I
suck.
grabbed white, but it's gravel road, which is like a really light gray. You guys will see. We're putting up a edited video this afternoon, and I painted those. Are they Bombay style? Is that
What?
the chests I painted that are got the fun shape to them?
Oh yeah, they're Bombay style. They turned out so cool.
But they're this color. I went gravel road on them, and
So we're gonna, if you watch the video that's going up later this evening, we'll show you what we finished over the weekend. On Mondays, we're kind of using those days to catch up. We actually did day in the life of, so you'll see a little bit of us thrifting, a little bit of us picking up. We just got a freeze dryer, just kind of what we do in a day, especially Mondays are catch up days.
I should have painted this one very first.
Yeah,
Oh well.
it's fine.
But yeah, it was a fun video.
So I think we're kind of trying to find our new groove now that we're not working on the farmhouse all the time. And I think it's taken a minute, but that's what we're gonna start doing on Mondays. We're also trying to do, so we do bulk filming. So we film Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that's it. At least that's the plan. Unless I wake up at 6 a.m. and start painting something, and then Zeb has to add it to the video, which happens. The freeze dryer is gonna be for food. And we're gonna freeze dry food. We're gonna do some homesteading. It actually fits perfectly in our pantry, even though we didn't plan it. So we're gonna probably make like a base for it and put it in our pantry. And we're gonna be doing some prepping and just making stuff for camping and healthy snacks, things like that. We asked people if they wanted some homesteading videos, and Zeb and I do have some basic homesteading skills, so we're gonna try.
We might have to start a new channel.
Yeah, we might have to start a new channel because we really want to keep Jami Ray Vintage just what it is. So it might be we put it up on Jami Ray Vintage to introduce it, and then we throw it up on a separate channel that's just more for funsies, and people can watch it if they want. A freeze dryer just is a commercial type piece of equipment that you put food in, and it creates like freeze dried food, kind of like astronaut food. And you can add water,
literally like
reconstitute
astronaut
it, or
food.
you can eat it as is. You can do strawberries, pineapple, you can do meats, you can do all kinds of different things. We actually have a ton of freeze-dried food storage that we bought commercially prepared that we keep in our basement. I don't know if you guys know a lot about our faith, but we're really big into food storage, so we have all that. We just thought it'd be fun to show that part of our life. We don't really talk about it much, but we realized that outside the state of Utah, like prepping and having a food storage and a stockpile is a completely unique idea. And it's not like, some people have heard of it, but they think it's like people that are doomsday preppers, and that's not really us. We just prep for things like disasters and COVID, and what if you're having a tough month and you don't have enough money to buy groceries, or what if you have a family member that's lost their job and they need food. It just allows for us to have our own backstock to pull from to provide not only for our family, but also for the needs of our neighbors and relatives. So it's cool. Rambo says I do miss the building videos. Oh, don't worry. There will be more videos coming. Those weren't our most popular videos, actually. I feel like our channel really slowed down when we did that. But
it did.
But I don't regret it, because it really set us up good to be able to do the things that we want to do, because we did so much work ourselves that we're now able to pull from that resource. And that's why we can buy the big church, because we've got some equity in here that we can use to put towards some in commercial ventures.
All right, I'm going with petticoat pink. We're gonna dip into this. This is basically like a almost solid clay. Look at that.
That is not had the lid on it for a while.
Well, I just think it's been around.
But
We
when it
don't
gets
use.
thick, it's almost like a.
We don't use a ton of this
Not
color.
acrylic. What's the other one? Oil.
Yeah, so I painted these leaves on, but these ones, the stems or the buds by the roses have a different thing going on. So I'm probably gonna have to come back and touch up a couple flowers so that they don't look weird.
Oh, Shelly's ducklings are hatching. That's so cute. Eliza wanted to hatch some chickens, but I told her because we're buying sheep, she has to wait till next year. Because we have a rooster, so we can keep fertilized eggs and hatch them, but I can't do that and deal with new sheep. We're actually thinking it'd be fun to have a pin for the sheep at the shop, so if we want to take them, we can. Sheep are really smart. But yeah, that's what we're working to. So after we get done with our filming this week, what we're focusing on is fencing the yard and doing a sheep enclosure the next few weeks because our sheep are coming and we've got to get ready for them. A lot of people were thrown into stockpiling during the situation. Absolutely. Ironically, here in Utah, people still stockpiled more than the normal stockpile. So we still had like shortages
on
even
stuff.
though most people had a lot of stuff. I think it's more because most of us stockpile stuff we don't actually want to eat. It's just like in case of natural disaster. So they were stockpiling on the luxury items, like things that you don't have to have. Not nobody would have starved, but many people would not have starved had they not left their house, but they wouldn't have had the things they like to eat. So that's the cool thing about freeze drying is if you have something you like to eat, you can create a food storage supply of things you actually like as opposed to just what you can find, you know, pre-done. Oh, your mom's on here.
Hey Mom, what's up? Her and my dad have been building a kiln. My dad has a sawmill that it's mobile. He can move it around wherever he wants in the country. They're currently in Alabama, and my dad has been building a kiln so he can kiln dry all that lumber he's been cutting. And that's been their project. He's trying to make enough wood so that he can build his own house, which I'm pretty sure he can. They just had a big tornado come through, and what my dad does when that happens, he did it in Texas too when they'd have hurricanes, is he goes around to all the neighbors and he helps them cut their trees out of their yards and get them off of their house and do all this stuff. And then he takes the lumber home and he makes lumber out of it. So that's what they've been doing this spring. And he did get my mom's grapes, like a little trellis thing so they can grow up of it.
And he is also almost 70.
Yeah, he's 69 years old. He'll be 70. He just turned 69, so.
Dad, you awake over there?
Okay. How long have we been on? Am I taking too long to paint these?
No, it's 10:44. You're doing fine.
All right. Okay, so now that I've got off, and I'm going to come back with this kind of green-gray mixture that I've made.
Kilns, freeze dryer, 1800 churches. You raised don't take the easy road on stuff. This paint technique I'll follow. The rest I'll watch. So Zeb's brother is into forging. So
Hey.
I just said that he was into forging. I didn't let on to what we
Actually,
were
unless Mariah is watching this right now.
Is she a channel member?
No, but she has our login.
Oh. Well, it's okay if she knows. Ty probably wouldn't see it. Zeb, I'll just say that Zeb bought something for forging. We might include it on a video next week. We'll like film it this week. It's his birthday. It's Ty's birthday on Friday, so. Although Zeb was playing with it last night, I could hear him in the garage. I was like, did you buy something for you or did you buy something for Ty?
Sometimes when you get your brother a gift, you got to live vicariously through them.
Oh, Donna wants to know when the MDF farm animal shapes are going to be available. As soon as they get them photographed, which is a Thursday activity. Like I said, we film Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so you can see like not filming stuff is going to be done Thursday, Fridays. I actually need to get the corbels, the MDF cutouts, all those things up on our retail website. So I would watch them by Friday, or if not, at least by next week they'll be up. I got to get them all photographed.
So that's looking pretty good there. I have this tall one. This is from, I believe this is from March.
But Donna, if you know what you want, just DM me on Instagram or Facebook, however you need a cow as soon as possible. Just DM me. I can invoice you and get
I
you
would
one.
love to have a cow. You can get mini Jersey cows. We do have
She wants an MDF cow.
Oh, mini MDF cow.
We do want a mini Jersey cow too.
But you
we
can
keep one on half acre, yeah? So we could have a cow at the shop.
Yeah. Well, you want kind of half the acre to be like actually not buildings. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do these over on the side.
Did somebody say that they're getting a cow? What?
I'm like, what, a cow? I grew up farming and ranching. What do you want?
We have already told the guy that lives behind us we want his lot, and then Zeb wants a lot behind that, so stay tuned for more Brave Farm animals. I just told him, I'm like, if we get a milking cow, we're also gonna get a ranch hand, because as much as I love the farm life, I also love vacation. So there's that. That's turning out really pretty.
Let's see.
Not that I'm surprised.
All right, this is.
I want to put some yellow on there, so we'll have to come back later and put some on there. I said that we probably wouldn't come back, but I think we will. We just need to get all the flowers basically on there before this video is over so we can paint the back, because I really feel like you guys are going to love the way that it looks once the back is painted. Let me see if I can find some white, because I actually just want the background to be white.
I think that'd be cool.
That's how I do when I do transfers.
This is hard getting this skinny, so. Because these are real thin, so they're probably not going to be true to form. But you know, nature is organic, so you can just run with it.
Everything I own is like trustified.
I need like a super thin brush on here.
All right, how about prairie gray in the background?
Prairie gray.
That's what we got.
I've got gravel road, which is that nice light gray.
Yeah. What's the gravel gray?
I've got some of that over here right now.
Yeah. I'll wait till you're done though, because once you paint the back, you can't see through it anymore. So what I'm thinking, if we do this video for the channel, because we don't do printables for people that aren't in the group, we will use some stencils and draw a stencil out the back and then brush the front, then wash the back and paint the back. Or we could stamp the back side with stamps and create a scene. I mean, really, there's a bunch of ways you can do this.
I'm gonna go bright over here on this side.
Dad brought me a surprise today, giant bamboo. It's called river cane here and is native. Doreen, talk to Sadie about bamboo before you pluck that. I remember, well, you guys have a lot more acres.
We had bamboo in our house in Mesa. Like, I don't think my mom would ever do bamboo ever.
Well, no, your dad just bought her some.
What?
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna put that down by the stream?
I'm guessing so.
They have, how many acres
You're gonna
is
plant
it?
that bamboo and then you're gonna bounce to New Mexico.
is
You're
it
gonna come
30
back to the jungles.
Is it 32 acres you've got there in Alabama, Mom?
Yeah, they got a bunch of acres. But I just remember that Sadie telling me about the bamboo and her mom bought it for her dad or whatever, and she thought they would, you know, have a little hobby, and then all of a sudden they had a whole backyard of bamboo. It's the same way with, was it blackberry bushes? What did you pull out of Sister Allred's yard?
Oh, blackberry bushes. It's like 30 feet of them growing along our back fence.
We need to follow up with her and be like, so did your son get the sprinklers on? Because we're growing grass. So I think just something down.
I'm just gonna do, we'll leave it kind of coming up and leave a little high over here. I wanna do something low. I think I'm just gonna do this little bit.
What if you took and just did some of these over there?
Like this?
Yeah.
Tall?
You just add a few.
Do we have time? These ones
No,
took
not
the
tall.
longest.
Like do a short couple flowers in the corner, so it's the similar.
I gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna start painting because you're not doing anything up here, right?
We'll see how well I can mimic this because it's not right up against it.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's the wrong side.
Yeah, wrong side.
Probably do it on that side too, though.
Yeah, I would add maybe just do like a little bit down there and then do a little bit down there just to kind of fill it in.
I haven't even washed this brush. I've just been using the same brush and I just wipe it off and go.
Yeah, that's good. Andrea said her husband and kids let her sleep in today. Nice.
Ooh.
I like to think
Is it
I'm
a
gonna
special
sleep in,
day
but-
for you or just sleeping in for funsies? Because if you're sleeping in for funsies, that might be even better than if it's like a birthday or something.
Seb and I are early risers, but I do wake up. I just don't always get out of bed.
I'm usually up until 1 doing something on the computer, editing or whatever. So like when you and then I have to take Odelia to school at 7:30 because while she's got her permit, she's not driving on her own yet.
Oh, just for fun. That's awesome, Andrea.
Nice.
I actually don't like to wake up to an alarm, so and I don't have a 9 to 5. So we choose our own hours pretty much. And I do set alarms sometimes for church and whatnot, but I like to just wake up when my body naturally does it. And in the summer, I actually get way more done in the winter. And in the winter, I let my body hibernate. And I feel like I feel better that way, allowing myself to just do what I feel like doing.
Let's be honest, if I don't have an alarm, I might sleep till 10.
Zeb is a good napper, but then he'll be up all night. So I have to sometimes be like, okay, it's been 4 hours this Sunday. You gotta get up.
What happens is she gets bored and she's like, hey, wake up.
But also then you can't go to sleep. I don't wake up at 6 a.m. unless I have to. We've been trying to figure out when we're gonna work out. We talked about doing it late and we talked about doing it early, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not about that life. So how about we just do it? We wake up, get the kids ready for school. They don't go to school till later, but once we know that they've been fed and they're dressed, they're fine to go off on their own. My oldest daughter is 12. And Eliza runs the show anyway, so.
She's not your oldest.
Oldest daughter at home, sorry.
The oldest
girl at
little
school.
kids.
The oldest little kid. That's what I meant.
Because we've got Odelia and Harrington, and then there's a 4-year gap between Odelia and Eliza. Because
you might want to wash it because I feel like your colors are getting kind of muddy.
That's okay. Flowers are different colors.
Oh, Andrew says I wake up at 2 a.m. every morning for no reason. Sometimes I wake up at 3, and then I turn on ASMR, and Zeb doesn't love it. But I just bought myself some AirPod Pros, so if I can get used to wearing those, that might help. My favorite, you guys, if you like ASMR, if you never tried it, look up ASMR Joni. I don't know why I love her, but I do. I feel like you have to find whoever works for you. And
It's her Hispanic accent.
It's her Hispanic accent. It reminds me of home. And I was referred to her by Debbie, is one who introduced me to like listening to her, and legit, it puts me right out. Zeb complains about it, but I'm like, look, just
it sounds like she needs to clear her throat or swallow or something.
I don't know. Zeb was in the garage working last night. Normally we fall asleep together, but because he was working, I was able to just put on my ASMR and I passed right out. Christina says, I love ASMR. I was thinking we could do ASMR painting. I saw that Katie Scott had that.
Let's see.
I think Joni is Joni.
That's how my cousin
Maybe
spells it.
Andrea, oh, she pulled it back, so maybe she's looking it up though. Yeah, she's good.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
Leslie says, I prefer bedtime stories for adults. Well, I prefer Zeb to read to me. That does put me to sleep. Grambo says, my daughter is 57. So you're not worried about her getting off to school, Grambo? Jen says, I listen to Bob Ross to sleep.
We all got our things.
So I think my voice is kind of pingy and annoying, but my sister Deborah listens to me to fall asleep.
It's because she sounds just like you. Your voice isn't pingy and annoying.
It's just the way that...
It's just, you just project it well, and so it's loud.
It's just the way that the camera picks it up, because when we do the microphone, my voice actually sounds a lot better.
You sound like a newscaster in the microphone.
I'm good at, like, I have good skills. All the things that got me in trouble in school, like talking fast, projecting well, being heard across the room, all those things are coming in handy now that I'm on camera.
All right. Last flower, and then I'm going to paint the back white. Well,
Gray. Gravel road.
Oh, that's going to be hard. Maybe we'll just do these flowers over here.
So one of the things that's really important if you listen to ASMR on your phone, because you don't want to get woken up by an annoying ad when the next video plays, is that you need to set the timer on your phone. And I don't know if you know that you have a sleep timer on your phone, but if you go to the timer app on your iPhone and you hit a timer, it gives you options for like how the timer goes off. And one of the options is turn off your app for the timer. And so if you do that, it'll turn off the app and then you won't hear the video anymore. So I always figure out like how long the ASMR video is, and then I turn on my timer for just a minute less. making sure that I'm not going to be woken up to a really obnoxious YouTube ad.
This is what the palette's looking like now, the paper plate palette.
Your paper plate palette's actually pretty. Our monthly creative business group, I think, is like $29.95. You have to go on YouTube.
It depends, depending on what region you're in, because YouTube knows where you live. It goes up a little.
Yeah, we don't actually set, we set like a base and then YouTube goes up from there. And then if you, Renee says, I listen to Jamie and Zeb videos. That's my sister. What was I gonna say? Oh, if you do join the membership though, you get all of the regular channel membership videos too. So you get your, whatever you're paying monthly right now, you don't need to pay that in addition to the coaching group. We don't overly promote the coaching group, not because it's not good, but just because we kind of like, it's right at about 100-ish people in there on average. Some people come and go. It's like a really good group. It's fun. Jen says, I'm lucky I've not worn out that timer option waking up so many times in the night. All right, that's great.
Okay.
So we might come back later with
Might do
like
some
a
little
Sharpie.
touch-ups.
I think it would be fun to come back with a Sharpie, like a water-based Sharpie, and
like make them crisp.
yeah, make them crisp. But I think for now this is good. So, and they're gonna look a lot more solid. And what will happen is this gray color will fill in anywhere that's still transparent in the flowers. So let's show you. I feel like this is where the magic happens. Show it to them without the paint so they can see it.
Okay, so this is just clear. You could totally leave it just right like that.
The thing about business coaching is we save all of our videos, so when new people come, Mariah organizes.
Organized.
She has them organized by month, so you can see different past videos. So this usually takes 2 coats because it's really shiny, but we're just going to do 1. And the other thing too is just know that when you seal it, the paint is not going to look darker on the opposite side because you're sealing the back side. So whatever it dries light-wise, like this dries lighter, that's what color it will really stay.
I think it would be cool to get some high-end markers and do this on the glass so that you could be real accurate, like blow this up to fit and then do this on the glass. I think that would be awesome. I love maps. Jamie's like, we can't have all the printables be maps. Like, really? Why not?
Not everybody wants that. We actually have, once we get the sheep settled and I get the SBA loan rolling, not finished, but rolling, then we're gonna work on new decoupage paper. That's my next, I just rotate the projects that I'm working on. And about the time I get decoupage paper done, then it's time to do stencils. We do have a brand we're working with for our stencil brushes, so hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks we'll have those. All right, you want to come up close so they can see that?
Yeah.
Now it's still a little streaky, guys, but that's because we only have 1 coat. But
It would be really fun to do like a sunset blend.
Yes.
On here, that would be fun.
And you could also come across the front and do like words or transfers.
We're coming that way, Mom, and you might get on camera.
Yeah, so this,
We're headed over there.
when it's against a wall, it's a little bit less, it's more solid.
Let's see, what can they see? Okay, there it is.
So we'll do 2 coats of this and then we'll seal it on the back. And we'll probably put some hooks on the bottom and then a French cleat, and then it can become a hanging rack.
Here, dry that real quick. We can.
My arms are really shaky.
Yeah, you still feeling it?
Yeah.
You didn't work
It's
out
11
hard
o'clock. I did work out hard enough.
You were complaining. You're like, that's it? That's the whole workout?
You can tell Zeb likes to paint. It is good. We always tell the people in our business coaching, like if you're so busy with business, you're not taking time to create, then you're too busy with business and you need to hire people. I need to have that conversation with Sasha from Sweet Pickens. That woman has not been painting the last few years.
You don't want this for you?
She's been, but she's almost got her new studio / barn workshop class space done. So I think I'm gonna have to force her to do some painting. That's why I like YouTube.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to really do some fun, creative stuff. And we get it, you know, it's our job to show you guys new fun techniques. What hooks are you going to put on here? Cast iron ones?
I don't know. Who knows what I'm gonna do? I mean, when this video is done, who knows if it's ever gonna get complete. We still have, you know, the other day when we did the IOD molds around the decoupage paper.
It's in the garage.
It's in the garage. It actually looks really cool now that it's dry. I might finish it just to show it to people. Sorry, I'm just going back to Caitlin. It's a little bit thick in the corners.
That's okay. I'm just trying to get it so you can put the second coat on.
Oh, okay. And then once that dries completely, then I'll put a sealer. Now here's the thing. Even if I do all this and I seal
Sealer on
it,
the back.
the window is still not ruined forever and not be able to be repainted, because all you have to do, even if you seal it, is just get a razor blade and scrape off the sealer and then wash off the paint, and then you can do something else with it later. A window is like a never-ending reusable source for painting. It doesn't have to look the same forever. It's the original like green
It's the original Etch-a-Sketch?
Yeah, it's the original Etch-a-Sketch. Etch a window. Sketch a window.
If you etch it, that's pretty permanent.
Yeah, etching it is yes, that's true. Oh, Andrea just joined business coaching. All right, Andrea, make sure you email Mariah. The email's there so that way she can get you added into the group. It takes up to 72 hours for that to happen.
Yep.
And I would do it, but I don't know how. I let Mariah do all of it because she's way more organized than I am.
And go back and watch all the things. Because we do recap, but there's a lot of information because we've been doing it for over a year now.
We're also creatives, right? So there's some people that do business coaching, they're not necessarily a creative person, and so the way they run things is different. I feel like our business coaching either works amazing, or maybe you need somebody who's not a creative. But for the most part, people that are creatives like it because we teach the way that we learn. And so I feel like that is what makes it good. Leslie says, I like these, they're more relaxed. Well, yeah, because there's 20 people I'm talking to. Makes it a lot easier. My ADD goes on overdrive when there's 500 to 1,000
Well, sometimes
people.
someone will comment something and she fixates on it.
I'm only human.
I'm like, we need to let that one go.
Yeah, I sometimes let Zeb take over comments, but then he reads no comments.
So here's the thing, fun fact. If I don't like your comment, I won't necessarily read it. Jamie reads all the comments.
No, I don't read some of them. Zeb just ignores people.
I'll be like, oh, yeah, we already talked about that earlier in the video. I'm not going to read that.
So we should have let it dry more. And another thing you can do, because this is like super slick, you guys are going to look weird because it's not all dry. Because it's super slick, is you can let it dry completely, put a coat of sealer on, then put another coat of paint, and then it won't pull that first coat off, and you get a more solid finish. Or you can let it be, you know, like see-through or whatever.
All right, guys, we're gonna take off. We will probably post a picture of this in community later. So keep an eye out of that when it's all dry and has hooks on it and things like that.
Yeah, and you can do this with a barn. You can do this with like animals, whatever. Print them out and then make it your own. And it doesn't necessarily have to be artwork that is given to you as a printable. You can pretty much print out anything because by the time you paint it, it's not going to look like the original representation anyway, so you don't have to worry about copyright issues.
No.
It's going to be your own. So.
All right, guys.
All right, love you guys. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully this helps get you inspired to do some fun Mother's Day crafting coming up. And whether you're in the business and you're making it to sell or you're making it for your own mother or grandmother or neighbor. And we'll see you later. Love you guys.